So I know that I shouldn't take comments like this to heart because clearly this commenter is committed to misunderstanding me. I never said that I think Beyonce can end the war. I said that rich, powerful celebrities like Taylor Swift, Adele, Beyonce, anyone with a global presence who has access to hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars, can influence their fans to sign petitions to advocate for people who are currently being persecuted. This is not a radical idea. What I think is corny and naive is to not hold those in power accountable, to not hold the society's wealthy, the people that have the most social capital and actual physical dollar capital, to account for their inaction. Beyonce is currently showing her Renaissance film in Israel, a country that is currently committing acts of grave violence against a defenseless population. It is strange that it is not okay to critique this decision just because she is a beloved pop star. Unlike this commenter, I have actually worked my entire life as a Democratic organizer. I have actually been on the ground in rural communities, helping people register to vote in campaign cycles at the local, county, state, and national level since I was literally a child. How celebrities behave during major political events do determine outcomes. When I was working in the battleground state of New Hampshire, it came down to a razor-thin margin of roughly 1,600 votes. Especially with the Senate race, it was a toss-up between two women. One of the women wanted to continue funding Planned Parenthood. One of the women was very, very conservative and wanted to completely defund Planned Parenthood. This could have meant that over 7 million women would have no longer had access to reproductive health care. Celebrities from major TV shows and major movies mobilized entire communities because this is where our society puts our attention. I can't help it that we live in a late capitalism hellscape, but this is what people pay attention to. So people showed up to these events, and these celebrities, as a condition of showing up to this event, was that you have to register to vote and plan and pledge your vote to a specific candidate. When it comes down to these razor-thin margins, this led to literally 7 million women ensuring that they would still have access to reproductive health care in the state of New Hampshire. Those in power want you to believe that the only people that can make change are the people on the ground, you and I. It is true that our collective action can make sustainable change in the world, but the people with the most power and privilege can amplify, mobilize, organize, and make systemic change as well. Governments, celebrities, politicians, billionaires, anyone who has actual tangible power is capable of reaching millions, if not billions of people, influencing their thoughts and actions for the positive, and directly leading to actions that could continue to put pressure on this administration to call for a ceasefire. When we think about wars of the past, celebrities have been invaluable. Think about the Vietnam War. When Jane Fonda spoke against the atrocities of the very US-backed, the entire public sentiment was for this war. It wasn't until years later that, world-renowned academics like Noam Chomsky was writing books about the manufactured consent for that genocide. And people who were brave enough to speak out against it literally changed hearts and minds. They called Jane Fonda inappropriately Hanoi Jane because her dissent, her criticism of that war was so unpopular amongst the ruling class being those who are rich, powerful, and celebrities. But what she did was her lone voice of dissent amongst the powerful validated the many, many people across college campuses around the world who were protesting that Vietnam War, who were dismissed as young, unrealistic, idealistic children. She lent her power, privilege, and authority to say, no, they're right. What's happening in Vietnam is wrong. This is not correct. We should not be doing this. What we're doing to this country is horrific and it's wrong. Celebrities like Beyonce have that power to the 1,000th degree because she is a global pop star. In the video, all I did was say that celebrities like Adele, Taylor Swift, Beyonce, any of these globally powerful, very influential people, I believe have an obligation to use their power and privilege for good. I think it is corny and naive to think that people should be able to hoard that much wealth and not be accountable to the millions of people who made that wealth possible. I also think it's incredibly corny and naive to bootlick the ruling class and never demand anything of the rich. This is why systems of inequity continue to persist, because we prop up people to godlike status and then expect nothing of them. If you're gonna give someone all of your time, attention, money, resources, and power, the least you can do is ask that they advocate for the most persecuted members of our society. This is not a radical idea.